What's up, everyone? This is Crisis Block, back again with another Call of Duty mobile video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I hope you guys are enjoying the new Season 7 update so far. So, in today's video, I am going to be covering my updated settings and the most balanced sensitivity setup for this season's ranked multiplayer mode, which is heavily compatible with the mobile devices. I've adjusted some of my basic settings, and I have changed a few other settings in the sensitivity section, and this new setup is providing me with some insanely optimized performance inside of this new season's multiplayer. Make sure to stick to the end of this video, as it is going to be extremely helpful for my fellow viewers. Now, if this is your first time here in my channel, then be sure to press the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss any future update on my channel. And make sure you hit the like button below, as this helps me a lot to make content like this for you. Anyways, with that being said, let's get right into the video. First, I'm going to be starting with the basic settings of the multiplayer mode. Most of these options in this section are pretty much identical as they were in my Battle Royale settings video for this season's update. Starting with the aim assist option, I keep this always on for better accuracy in the battlefield. The quick run from prone and the joystick auto spin options are enabled for faster and more fluent movements. All of my weapon rotation buttons are disabled, as I prefer to move my aim using my right thumb in the right part of the screen. The slide hint is totally an optional choice. It basically shows you a slide button instead of a crouch button when you are sprinting. Rest of the settings are pretty reasonable. Now, both in the multiplayer and the Battle Royale, I am currently using the tap and hold option to aim down sight for better versatility in the middle of the battlefield. Also, I am gradually switching to 4 fingers claw, and I've become extremely comfortable with this option. Other than that, I use the 1 tap slide option for quick slide movements. The always sprint option is a very important thing, as it helps the slide flawlessly without going into crouch mode, and most importantly, I have been using maximum field of view in both of my perspectives. It matches with my sensitivity values pretty easily, and I don't see any changes coming anytime soon. And lastly, here are all my teammate shield settings, my mini map opacity settings for the multiplayer mode. That's pretty much it for the basic settings of the multiplayer. In the graphics settings, I personally use the graphics quality on the medium option, although my device has support for higher options, but it gets slightly hotter on anything over the medium quality, and the frame starts to drop pretty drastically once I play more than a few matches. For the frame rate option, I'll recommend you to use the maximum settings every single time, as this is a first-person shooter such online multiplayer mode, and for any online FPS title, the frame rate has to be the most important factor in the game. In the audio settings, I have kept everything pretty much the same, except the UI volume and the in-game music. Decreasing the UI volume to 50% is extremely user-friendly for me, and I think you should apply this to your audio settings as well. It will reduce the tap noises when you press any button while playing the multiplayer mode. Now, in the settings of the special effects, I have been using the pink electrical flash in the hit effects section. Although it is a cosmetic thing after all, which depends totally on your personal preference. However, in the section of the get hit hint effect, I'll be suggesting you to use something dynamic which can be easily visible, like the pink or the red one. And now, before we get to discuss my updated sensitivity settings for this season's multiplayer update, I want you to have a look on some of my gameplay clips. With this, you're going to have some approximate idea about the speed of my playstyle and how I manage to deal with my enemies in different range of engagements. Another thing I want to mention before sharing my sensitivity values, which is I am currently using the Poco F5 as my primary device, which has screen size of 6 and 1 out and 2 in. And my sensitivity values may or may not be exactly accurate for you. That's why I'm suggesting you to carefully observe my movements and my accuracy throughout this entire gameplay session, and I'll see you after the final kill with all the values of the sensitivity setting. As you guys have noticed, I have a moderately fast movement speed, which is pretty easier to adapt. And most of the time, I use the gyroscope to track down enemies and to control the vertical recoil of my weapons. Now for the multiplayer, I am currently using the speed acceleration in the rotation mode with a value of 145. You can keep it somewhere between 130 to 150, which is the most user-friendly sweet spot and works flawlessly with the default or the maximum value of the field of view. Currently, I'm using 130 because of the boosted field of view in third-person perspective. It matches perfectly with the speed of my movements, and along with my highly accurate gyroscope setup, it can provide you with some extremely optimized performance in the multiplayer. For the sensitivity switch settings, I am recommending you to use the third option, which is gradually switching while aiming down sight. And now, the most important part. Here are all the sensitivity values for the multiplayer. According to your playstyle, you can tweak the sensitivity values in the general and the firing sensitivity, but I recommend you not to make any changes in the gyroscope sensitivity section because it is extremely calculated for a moderately fast playstyle specifically for the mobile players. And trust me when I say it will give you some aimbot level accuracy in all sorts of ranges possible. And here's my 3-4 fingers HUD layout for the multiplayer. It's a pretty basic 4-finger setup, which is extremely easy to adapt. I normally play with 3 fingers in general, however, for being a tap and hold to aim down sight user, I just use the scope button with my right index finger, and that's the only thing I do with my 4th finger.